here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, another episode of Shaking Your World, and our new good friend Lorenzo is in town to make a movie. So we can't talk about the specifics of what your movie is, but first of all, welcome home.
Thank you, Bob.
Honored to have met you and had the experience with you. So we just filmed a series of things at Shakers and of our previous camera tour. That's all I'm going to say about that. So your experience making films, though, goes back for a period of time. Can you talk about your inception, what got you into filmmaking?
Yeah, I started to make cinema in around 2015. Shooting my own movie as a director. And at the same time, I was founding my production company to produce my own movie. And with friends from university that I met a couple of years before, we wanted to make a production company to produce films that we love, our group of friends at the beginning, and then opening up to new experiences. And the production in the end was like more, it took much more time than the time that I needed to do my own movie. So now I'm mostly a producer than a director.
Okay. So you're actually Italian, right?
Yes.
But you're living in Paris now.
Yes.
And how did you find your way to Milwaukee?
Because of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay.
So we were working with this film that I produced, but also I co-write with Diane Sarah-Garu.
Okay.
A filmmaker that made a couple of films before, and then we met, and she started to talk to me about this project that she had on it. It was a portrait of her best friend that started from documentary and then became a fiction film, a middle-length film. Okay. And I was very interested in this topic, and I started to write the film with her while producing. So it's kind of a particular combo, not so common to produce a film and write. Then so we are starting to write in 2018 this project. So now it's been
5 years in the making.
Yeah, 5 years in the making. So now we are finally shooting, and it's Dahmer is involved in the project, so we naturally came to work with.
Of course. So when you are filming this, you're filming time in Milwaukee, it's about a week long, right?
Yeah, it's 8 days.
8 days, okay. And your editing time is going to be about how long?
Editing time is going to be at least 7 weeks, maybe a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. So generally 2 months for every 1 week that you film.
Yeah, for the editing, then there's the sound editing, then there's all the post-production.
Foley, whatever else takes place.
Okay. And we are trying to finish the film next year, around spring.
Nice. Excellent. So what's your next project going to be?
My next project, actually I'm working on kind of 10 projects at the same time. But
of course.
I have one project as a director again, and that I would like to shoot around September. So this is probably my next project.
Excellent. So any reason to come back to the US?
Oh, you always have reason to come back to the US. I was already in the US like 3 times. It was in New York, it was in Seattle, it was in Twin Peaks actually. I'm a big fan of Twin Peaks. So it's the first time in Wisconsin.
And well, all right, so how's your experience in Wisconsin? Lovely weather we're having.
Yes, we were pretty lucky with the weather.
Indeed. Actually, this is fairly similar to what I think Paris is going through right now, right?
Yes. We are really enjoying the city, Milwaukee, it's a nice city because it's not too big, it's not too small, and it's very beautiful landscape. With Bayview, we are staying in Bayview right now, and so we are enjoying it.
Excellent, and lovely people here as well. So if you have any thoughts for our viewers as to the film process, or any words of encouragement for people or pearls of wisdom you have, what would you say?
I would say to be truthful to your idea, because you have to struggle to make something real. You have to struggle for money. You have to struggle for convincing people. You have to struggle just to face reality of doing it. But you can always adapt to reality, and it's a good thing. But you have to take good food to your technique. And if you don't have enough money to do it, if you don't have all the things that you were expecting, it's not a problem. You can do it still.
Okay.
And this thing actually can make your first idea even better than you were expecting. Just adapt to reality.
So this truly is your passion. It's not just a business for you.
No, actually not at all. Because I'm doing like art house film,
Sure.
until now mostly shorts, middle length. So actually, it's not a real economy.
Okay.
An economy in cinema starts when you make feature film.
Right.
So I'm doing this really professionally. And if I wanted to be rich, I would do it other stuff.
Any number of things.
Yeah.
So when you're not making films, what are you doing?
Actually, I'm just working.
It's all consuming, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very consuming. Producing like this, it means that you do a lot of tasks, especially when the economy is low budget. Right? You make a lot of different things. You make sometimes writing, you make sometimes editing, sometimes you make sure that everything is set up. So I don't have so much free time, I have to say, especially in the last years.
Well, you've got to look like 12 or so people on your crew today,
Yeah.
right? And everybody has a very important part to play, right? And even some of the shared tasks that took place between the director and the assistant director here, obviously your camera guy, everybody has input in what's going on in production. And I think that makes a better product because everyone sees things a little bit differently, right?
Yeah, we try to build up a crew that really knows what the film is, and this is a particular set because Diane, the director, is playing in the film. So it means that she cannot be in control of everything. So we have to help her stay truthful to her ideas and proposing her things. So this is kind of it's not easy all the time, but it's interesting because the crew is really involved in what artistically. So it's kind of sharing, directing a little bit.
Bravo. So if there's anything you could change about what you're doing overall, I would imagine financing is a big part of that. But aside from financing, what would you change about your approach to filmmaking?
Sorry, again, I didn't.
So aside from the financial aspect of this,
Yes.
What would you change, if anything, about the way that you approach filmmaking?
Not an easy question. What would they change? I would like to have more time to do things, but this is involving finance. So when you're working in a lot of different projects, it's also because it's not just because you love them. It's also because you hope that projects are also working. Sometimes one doesn't work, another one is working. So you have to work on several, of course, to make it happen. And this thing lets you not a lot of time, and time is the most important thing, right, for an artist. Because sometimes you are pushed to do things fast, and it can be good some way, but most of the time it's not good. You have to take time to do things
Sure, it's developed.
Yes. So this is sometimes we need like for this project, middle length, we needed like 5 years right. It's very unusual. Normally it's the feature film development time 5 years. But we really needed it because if you write it good, you can be very flexible on doing the shooting and readapt. And so it's really important to take this time.
Sure. So I realized, looking over not just my script, but you also had Kevin, our tour guide, in for this.
Yes.
And obviously you researched a lot of things about myriad programs that were featured on Netflix or something else, right?
Yes.
Student culture, whatever else, you extract bits and pieces of different things. And the more research that I found that you do in a project, the better the project's going to be.
Sure.
And we've had some come through that are just kind of slap dancing things together that really haven't taken that time. I appreciate working with your crew because it seems that they're all on the same page and they've really taken the time to understand what the project is. So that's kudos to you for that. So, your English is marvelous. So where did you get that from?
Oh.
University, just from
I studied English at school, high school basically.
Okay.
But I wasn't really using my English in Italy where it's like for work,
Right.
Just writing emails and working with international partners. And, I hope it's good enough for the interview.
It's much more than better than good enough. Yes, thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I can't wait to see what this turns out to be. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Cheers. For those of you watching at home, I appreciate your tuning in for that brief moment, and we hope to see you soon. Any questions, of course, shakersmilwaukee@gmail.com, and be good to yourselves and your family. Cheers.
Cheers.